Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming to you live from Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk. I want to thank all my loyal viewers for being with me here tonight. Tonight, I've got about 4 games I want to talk about on the college football slate. One was a huge upset that's going to have major ramifications in the top 5 in the college football playoff. Actually, we had 2 games in that department. I'm also going to hand out my game balls. I got a few other games I want to talk about tonight. I'm going to hand out the game balls, like I said. I'm going to give you my game of the day pick. We're just going to go right into it, and let's get started. How do you start off the show? With Texas, Oklahoma? Nope. Could you believe that South Carolina upset Georgia today 20-17? The Bulldogs were 20-point favorites going into the ball game today, and they blew it. For South Carolina, Ryan Helinski, 15-20, 116 yards and a touchdown. And Israel Makaramu had 3 interceptions for 53 yards and a touchdown on defense today. Jake Fromm was not on form today. Jake Fromm State Farm was a nightmare, I should say. 28-51, 295 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions. DeAndre Swift, he did to carry the ball 23 times for 113 yards and needed to have a touchdown on the ground. Wow. What can you say? And Rodrigo Blankenship missed 2 field goals in overtime, including the one that could have sent the game into a third overtime. He was a flop today. He missed 2 field goals late in the going. But think about this for a minute for South Carolina. South Carolina only had 16 first downs, 297 yards total offense. They were penalized 11 times for 68 yards, and they still won. And the South Carolina defense, what can I say about them? 3 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and they had a touchdown on defense. The Georgia defense total had 4 turnovers in the ball game. That's how they lost it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the top 5 is going to take a huge hit. LSU's going to move up. You better believe that. Florida's going to go down. Georgia's going to go down. And with Penn State's 17-12 victory over Iowa, I'm going to talk about that game here in a couple minutes. It means that everything in the top 10 is going to be a mess come tomorrow. But the bottom line is this. South Carolina, congratulations. You guys got the job done. And that's all I can say. Coach Kirby Smart was like, I can't believe we lost this ball game. We should have won this game going away. I got to agree with Kirby. But Jake Fromm was not on form. And the offense, and Georgia's offense was not that good either, if you stop and think about it. And now, it's time to move on to the next game. The next game I'm going to talk about, Oklahoma, Texas, and the Red River Shootout. Last year, it was a shootout with Texas taking it 48-45. This year, it was a little bit subdued. And here's what I mean. Oklahoma did beat Texas today 34-27. But Jalen Hurts of Oklahoma, his first time against the Longhorns, what can I say? 16-28, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. He also had 17 carries for 131 yards and a touchdown. He took the game on his shoulders, right? Well, not exactly. CeeDee Lamb, 10 catches, 171 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And the Oklahoma defense had 15 tackles for loss and 9 sacks today. Texas did not look like the Texas that we saw 1 year ago. Sam Ehlinger, 25 of 37, 210 yards, and that was it. Texas only had 310 yards total offense. Oklahoma, despite 2 turnovers and only going 3 of 12 on third down, won the game. And you can thank Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb, but the Oklahoma defense really stepped up today. Oklahoma coach Lincoln Riley said, I am very happy with our team's performance. We got the job done when we needed to, and that's all that matters. So now the question is, Texas, yes, the question I think has already been answered. Texas is now eliminated from the college football playoff. After an opening weekend loss to LSU and then losing to Oklahoma, it's not looking too good for the Texas Longhorns. We'll probably see these 2 teams again in the Big 12 championship game. Don't fear not on that. But Texas, as far as winning any shot at the national title, it's now gone, in my opinion. All right. The next game I want to talk about is out of the Big 10. We've had an SEC game, a Big 12 game. Now we head to Big 10 country. Penn State beat Iowa tonight. Number 10 Penn State beat number 17 Iowa 17-12. This game was absolutely unbelievable. And I mean, I've never seen a game like this. I mean, Total yards for the game. Penn State 294 yards total to Iowa's 356. Penn State was penalized 8 times for 80 yards, and Iowa only had 1 penalty all night. But Iowa did commit 2 turnovers. And Penn State's defense, 6 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. But for Penn State, Sam Clifford, 12 of 24, 117 yards and a touchdown. Noah Cain, 22 carries, 102 yards and a touchdown himself. But for Iowa, it was Nate Stanley. He won 25 of 43, 286 yards and a touchdown and an interception. This game, I knew was going to be close. I had originally said Penn State 17-14. I almost nailed it. I was a 2-point conversion short of just nailing it. But anyway, Penn State gets their first road win against in a ranked versus ranked under James Franklin. Penn State coach James Franklin said after the game, "I'm just so proud of my kids. We played hard in the trenches. We got the job done. Now maybe we can move on to bigger and better things." Penn State has Michigan next Saturday night. And here's the deal. Penn State still has a lot to prove. Now, James Franklin's still under the shadow of Ohio State. And they got to meet in the next to last game of the season in the Horseshoe. I have not forgotten about that matchup. Now, here's the deal. If Penn State can win out, they can play for the Big Ten championship. Keep that in mind. However, with a performance like Sam Clifford only throwing for 117 yards and a touchdown, it could be a little bit more difficult. We'll have to wait and see on that. All right. Last but certainly not least, the last game I want to talk about was a classic in the Bayou. Number 7 Florida versus number 5 LSU. LSU got a 42-28 victory tonight. Joe Burrow, what can I say? 21 of 24, 293 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 7 catches, 127 yards and 2 touchdowns himself. Justin Jefferson, 10 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 13 rushes, 134 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That is how LSU won this game tonight. And the LSU offensive line allowed no sacks tonight. That was key. LSU head coach Ed Origin said after the game, "I'm just so proud of my kids. We got the job done with the best time in the world." And that's all that matters. Florida coach Dan Mullen said, "Our defensive problems, our defensive injuries just caught up to us tonight. We've been so banged up on defense, and that's what hurt us here this evening." And he was absolutely right. There's no doubt about it. But for Florida, Kyle Trask, 23-39, 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Kyle Pitts had 5 catches for 108 yards. And that was all that mattered tonight in the Florida LSU game tonight. So now, LSU has to face Alabama later in the season. That's going to be worth the price of admission. But that's a little ways down the road. But here's the deal now. We're going to have a 1-loss SEC East champion. At least 1 loss. Florida lost today. Georgia got embarrassed by South Carolina at home, 20-17. Rodrigo Blankenship gets the blame for that one. Well, actually, Jake Fromm was not on his game either. But I'll come back to that here in a minute. All right, everybody. It is now time to hand out some game balls. My favorite segment of this update. And here's how it works. I'm actually going to be handing out a special double game ball to somebody very, very special today. For the South Carolina-Georgia game, Ryan Helinski, 15-20, 116 yards and a touchdown. Defensive back is Israel Makahamu, 3 interceptions, 53 yards and a touchdown. In the South Carolina defense, 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and a touchdown on a pick 6. I also want to give Ryan Helinski, Israel Makahamu, and the South Carolina defense, congratulations to all of you. Every single one of you are going to be getting a Scott Manning game ball. For the Oklahoma-Texas contest, I've got some big game balls to hand out. Jalen Hurts, 16-28, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. He also carried the ball 17 times for 131 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 10 catches, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns. And the Oklahoma defense, 15 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. Congratulations to Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb and the Oklahoma defense. all of you guys are going to be proud recipients of a Scott Manning game ball. For the Penn State Iowa contest, Sam Clifford, 12 of 24, 117 yards and a touchdown. Noah Cain, 22 carries, 102 yards and a touchdown on the ground. The Penn State defense, 6 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. I'm going to go with this one. Sam Clifford and Noah Cain, congratulations to you two gentlemen. You two gentlemen are going to be proud recipients of a Scott Manning game ball. For the LSU Florida contest, Joe Burrow, 21 of 24, 293 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 7 receptions, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 10 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 13 rushes, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Congratulations to the 4 of you gentlemen. You 4 gentlemen are going to be proud recipients of a Scott Manning game ball. And now, I am going to present a double game ball and a triple game ball. So, you got all my game ball nominees. The nominee and the winner of a special Scott Manning triple game ball goes to, drumroll please, the South Carolina defense. Actually, take that, hold on, back up. Defensive back, Israel Mekamu, 3 interceptions, 53 yards and a touchdown. Congratulations to you, sir. You are the recipient of a Scott Manning triple game ball. And now, the double game ball. Ladies and gentlemen, the double game ball recipient goes to, and the winner is the Oklahoma defense. 15 tackles for loss, 9 sacks. You guys are the recipients of a double Scott Manning game ball. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my game of the day pick. This one is very difficult, but I have to call it a tie between 2 games. And the 2 winners of the Scott Manning Game of the Day award goes to, drumroll please, can I have a drumroll please? South Carolina, Georgia, and Penn State, Iowa. Congratulations to both of those games. Both these games are the recipients of a Scott Manning Game of the Day award. What can you say? And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts on this night. What a Saturday in college football we had. Everything that was on the line, we said every game was going to have. I said the triple main event game, all 3 games in the triple main event were going to be something worth watching, and yes, they were. And yes, I had to throw in an extra game, South Carolina, Georgia, because it was a huge upset. And I'm not going to deny it. But here's the deal. Next Saturday, we don't know what that's going to bring. Ohio State plays Northwestern on a Thursday night trap game. And then we got Michigan, Penn State next Saturday night. And there's a lot at stake there, too. What have we learned on this Saturday? Well, the one thing we've definitely learned is Texas is going to be out of the college football. Is going to be out of any consideration for the college football playoff. The other thing we've learned is the Big Ten West is a little bit weak. I shouldn't sound like that, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Another thing I've learned is Penn State is going to do anything in their power to get out from underneath Ohio State's shadow. And another thing we've learned is the SEC East is going to have a 1-loss division champion with both Florida and Georgia losing. And those 2 have to face off yet, I think, the first Saturday in November when they have the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. So there's a lot on the line there, too. But this Saturday was a very special Saturday. All my Ohio State fans were saying, oh, this is going to be a boring weekend. Oh. Well, OSU Nation, y'all were dead wrong. This is the best weekend in college football I have seen, and it's just going to get better and better and better the further we go. Bottom line, and that's all I have to say tonight because my voice is cracking, and it's running out of gas. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. All you have to do is type my name, scroll down, look for this pretty face, click subscribe, and you'll see all the videos I have done so far. Thank you guys so much for being with me. You guys have a great night, and God bless. Good night, everybody, and thank you. And I'll be back Actually, I won't be back till next Thursday night. Good night, everybody, and thank you.